All right. Okay. So just so I got the record straight, can you tell me your name and what branch you served in the military?
Oh yeah, my name is Richard Cran. Born in, tell me where I was born?
Sure, yes.
Born in Concord, New Hampshire, and moved to Massachusetts when I was a young boy. And
I'm listening.
I left in the service during World War II. I had 4 brothers in the service, and I was the youngest one. So I forced my age to go in the service at 15.
Okay.
I was only 15. I served in Europe. My first trip to Europe, I got injured over in Europe, an explosion.
Whoa.
I was thrown in the water, unconscious. They picked me up, and I was in a hospital. I couldn't hear for about probably 30 or 40 days. I couldn't hear.
Oh my goodness. I
got my hearing back. I should have earphones on, but I haven't got them. They're in they're over there.
Okay.
I'll show you what they look like after. Anyways, I stayed in the service and made an invasion of southern France. That's why I get injured. Come back from the west. I shipped me to the west coast. I got another ship. I ended up in Tokyo.
Oh wow.
The war ended. I was in the Pacific, down near the Philippines, and I was sent to Tokyo. And want to hear the rest of it?
Oh, of course.
It's a little dirty.
That's totally fine.
Well, I got to Tokyo, and it was pretty well bombed out. They gave you a woman to do your housework. She did the housework, the cleaning, plus my lover.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the way they did those days. These girls are fixed; they could have no children. So I stayed with her for about a year and a half. Then they go some other place. But they're fixed so they can have no children. That was then. They don't do it anymore though. And I come back out of the service, and I never went to school, so I loved to build my own home. I built a 4-room home, put my own water in, and the septic system, and pretty handy. But I do miss the education though. My education is right there. I want to show you my hands. Now out of the 4 children, my mother had 8 children. I was the 4th. I had my mother's hands. Just touch them, how smooth they are.
Oh my goodness.
Smooth, huh?
Yeah.
It's a good morning, mother. It's hard what you receive, huh? It's nice and smooth. I never knew it all those years. So my daughter said, "You got beautiful hands." I have.
So in what branch did you serve in the military?
I served with the Navy. But when I went there, it was different. They were so short on men. They wanted to get a little more experience, so I worked with the Army, Navy, Marines.
Okay.
Stripped us around, so I had a lot of experience. And so it was pretty interesting. So when I got out of the service, it had quite a bit of it was really nice. I enjoyed it. But anyways, it's pretty dangerous though. Pretty dangerous. So what else do you want to know?
Well, did you see any combat?
Huh?
Did you see any combat when you were?
Oh yes, I saw a lot of combat. In fact, I got hurt in Europe. That's where I got an explosion. We were making an invasion of southern France, and the bomb hit our ship. That was blown out into the water. But I had a life jacket on, and the life jacket saved my life because they picked me up. I was in the hospital for quite a while. I lost my hearing. I couldn't hear. Then I got the hearing back. And then after I recovered, I went to, this is up Europe, up in the Pacific, on the East Coast. I went to California, shipped out, I ended up in Tokyo.
Okay.
And when the war ended, I was in the Philippines when the war ended, and I went to Tokyo there. And I stayed in Tokyo for probably almost 2 years.
Okay.
Then came back to the States. but I miss my education. My education is there. My head.
So you said you were in Europe and you were in the Pacific. What do you remember most about Europe? How is it very different? Was it very different from? Did anything surprise you?
You mean what difference between Europe and the Pacific?
Yeah, was there any big difference?
Well, yeah, Europe is different than the Pacific. You're fighting a different war. You're fighting the Germans over there, and they're fighting the Japanese on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite an experience. But you never hate these people. The war starts. You can't blame the people because they didn't start the war.
Mm-hmm.
And I never hated the people. You go in there, you do your job, what you're supposed to do, you come out. But I really enjoyed it. And one time, the first time I got shaved by a Japanese barber, a woman barber, I was kind of scared. But I got a good shave.
Okay.
Usually I shave myself, this one time. But they were good people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't blame the people in the war.
Okay. I know you said you saw combat. Would you mind telling me a little bit what that was like?
What?
Like you said you saw combat.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit maybe what that was like?
Well, it's pretty bad. The airplanes come to, the worst thing is suicide. The suicide planes come down to Japan. We're out the ship and they dive bomb and they hit the ship. Pretty scary. We got hit 2 or 3 times. We got hit, but survived. The worst case we ever had was where I was in a big typhoon. A lot of ships, we get separated, and we ended up all alone out there. And all of a sudden, one of the American destroyers come by, and there was a submarine right under our ship like this. And they kept dropping depth charges around us.
Oh.
They get the submarine. They did it for about an hour. These big canisters, about 60 pounds, they go down and they blow up in the water. But they didn't get him. He got away.
Oh my God.
Those things do happen.
Oh my God.
Pretty scary.
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
My hands are sweating. I'm making me nervous with all these stories. Can you tell me, were there any people you met that stood out to you, or maybe people you still know or you still remember?
Oh yeah. Well, you meet a lot of different people, and you keep changing around, so you always have different people. So the worst thing is, what happened during the war, they froze the draft. So they picked everybody up. And a lot of the people they picked up were bad people.
Oh.
They didn't know, the government didn't know who they were, but they froze the draft. But some of the guys in there were pretty bad guys.
Oh.
So one time I bumped a man, he pulled a knife on him.
Oh gosh.
And I said, what's the matter? I just bumped him. I'm sorry, mister.
Oh, God.
But it's very, very scary. But it was a tough war.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's all they get for they change. Now you go in there, they examine you. They get good people there now.
Mm-hmm.
But those days they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty scary. But anyways, I had quite a life. After the service, I got out of the service. I wasn't educated, so I was a builder. I built homes. Built my own home, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed it. And I told you I used to find water.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you that?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct then. Finding water, it's pretty hard.
Oh. How did you do that?
You call it dowsing. It's got a stick in your hand.
Oh.
And you can find water. The stick and pour like this. But you can't hold it in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can't do it. I never charged for it. So one man, he spent $2,000. He couldn't get any water on his land.
Oh, wow.
He heard about me. He said, how much you want? I said, I do it for nothing. I never charged for it.
Oh.
And I found the water. And he was so happy. He wanted to pay. I said, no, I do it for nothing.
Wow.
But it's called a thing. Everybody can't do it. They call it dowsing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find oil, but I never find oil.
That would have been lucky. So what can you tell me about the culture of the how people treated each other in the military? Or
Oh yeah, well, like I said, there was a lot of bad people in there. You have to watch who you're going with. But I was with a bunch of men, probably 5 or 6 years older than me. And you want to hear the rest of it?
Yeah.
It's kind of dirty.
That's all right.
Well, one time, I was the youngest guy in the bunch. A lot of them were 25, 30 years old. So one time I said, we're going to go out. This is in Japan. And that's where we're going to go. Was it Japan or Europe? Anyways, we were at the house of prostitution.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, a prostitute. And they said to the girl, you see that kid over there? Show him what life's all about.
Oh my goodness.
So I went to a room with this woman. I was already, about that time, about 17. And I had sex with her.
My goodness.
And they're a maid, so they couldn't have any children. They were pretty, but that was the only experience I ever had.
My goodness.
I never told my mother. She would have killed me.
Goodness. I mean.
You have a boyfriend?
No, sir.
Not yet.
I do not. But I mean, I mean.
It's different generation.
Yeah, I mean, they don't. I mean, this happens to me again and again, where it's like they don't tell us this stuff in history class.
There's a lot of disease out there. Especially if you're a young girl. There's disease. You have to be careful who you're going with. And but anyways, I managed all those years. I brought up a good family. I never told my wife about this. I was single. I never told my wife my experiences because I was single then. But I had a good wife. Married 60 years.
Oh wow.
60 years.
Wow.
Did I show you the pin I got?
No, sir.
Oh. See this here? I got this from the Texas government. Gave me this.
Okay.
It read both sides.
Military Order of the Purple Heart, Texas Capitol, Chapter 1919. God bless America, God bless Texas. That's amazing.
It's quite an honor for a Yankee to get a Texas. Texas government gave me that.
Wow.
And besides, they named the building after me down here.
Oh God.
It's called Cran Hall.
Grand Hall. Okay.
My daughter has pictures of it on the camera.
Awesome.
It's really nice. It's a big hall. There's 4 or 5 different halls. And it's quite an honor, the building named after you. And so, I got a great daughter. She likes to be the boss, so.
So, I know you said you had hearing loss at one point. Were you ever wounded at any other time?
The hearing aids up here, show what they look like.
Oh, okay.
I'm supposed to be wearing them, but I don't wear them. Hearing aids like that, they go in your ear.
Okay.
They put it in your ear like that.
Okay.
I should wear them today, I don't wear them. Anyway. So where else do I show you? Oh, that was my wife.
Okay. Wow, she's
And
great.
the story about her, when I married this woman here, she was married before with no children.
Okay.
Her husband couldn't get any children. So when her husband died, I married her.
Okay.
And she was 6, 7 years older than me.
Oh.
And I had 4 children with her.
Okay.
And lovely girl. That was me when I was younger.
You look very handsome.
You see this picture here? My youngest boy did that. The one that's missing, told you the boy was missing, he did that, all by hand.
Oh wow, that's great.
And that picture up there, as you can see it, it says, read the writing up there, read the writing.
Richard
I was in
Crane,
Europe there.
1944, U.S.
Yeah.
Navy. Wow.
A girl on the sidewalk said, you want the picture drawn? I said, how much? She said, $2. So I gave her $2, she did that. And that's how I looked when I was 15.
Wow, but you lied about your age, or you faked your
I'm
age.
pretty young boy.
Wow.
You like my window? See that? The sun does that. You got $500,000, you can buy a home over there.
Only half a million?
$500,000.
Wow.
Isn't that nice how they work? The sun hits them. Well, like about this window, you always got a lot of view, nice view. And they only always file the wall. The rest is private property.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice area, huh?
Great area.
So what else you want to know?
Well, I mean, okay. Well, first, I have a couple more questions. One thing I'd like to know about is how. Just what was how do I say this? What was the military like to you? Like what do you remember most about it?
Well, it's a good experience. Like I said, I was a young man, but older men, you do learn a lot and you grow up awful fast. So when I got out of the service after I was only still a young man, and I started dating women, and I finally met my wife there, and you do grow up awful fast, but it's a good experience. You can't. But anyways, it seems like a dream. Everything's happened, you know, over the years. But I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the people with it was. I come back, I had a good life. I raised a good family, and had a good wife. That's the main thing.
Why did you want to?
Did you see the picture of my wife, the wedding gown? Did I tell you a story about that?
No, sir.
Well, I went to this young man, and I said, could you make I was single then. I said, could you make my fiance a dress? And he was talking, I said, we're going to get married. Could make my fiance a dress. And he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'll make the whole gown for $100.
Oh, wow.
He made that whole gown for $100.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine that?
No.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It looks beautiful.
It probably cost $2,000 or $3,000 today.
Probably more than that.
He charged me $100.
Wow.
Because I was a veteran. It's pretty.
That is pretty.
Yeah.
What I'm kind of curious about, why did you want to enlist in the military so young?
Because my brothers were in the service.
Oh, your brothers?
I wanted to go in.
Okay.
And it's a good experience, and yet it's a bad experience, you know? You learn good things, you learn bad things. But I always stayed on the good side. I had a clean record, and I got a good military record. And if I ever get sick, I'd go to VA hospital. You know? But anyway, they're pretty healthy, considering what I've been in. Biggest problem is the hearing. I get if my daughter was here, I get mad. She would have my earphones in. They might keep my earphones in, but I take them out. Because I love the room.
Were you ever wounded besides when you hurt your ears?
Wounded? No, just an explosion.
Yeah.
Unconscious. But no. Well, I imagine I bleed too, but mostly explosion from my ears.
Okay.
Unconscious, but it's quite if you wake up and you don't know where you are. So you said you have a mother, father, good mother, father? What do you do for work?
My parents?
Yeah.
Well, my mom is in real estate, and my dad.
She a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah, she works from home. Yes.
Oh, that's good.
She was a stay-at-home mom for a while, and then once my sisters and I got older, she started.
So your mother know you're making it, doing this job?
Yes, she does.
She approve of it? Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, my mom and I are really close.
Good. That's good.
And then my dad is.
Is your mother blonde too?
Yes, she is. But all my sisters are dark-haired like my dad.
Yeah.
So I'm the odd one out. Okay. Did you ever do anything else with the military, or once you were out, you?
No, after the military, I got home, and I got married. I started building houses, and because I was building houses, and I loved it. But I do miss my education. Because a lot of things I can't do, you know. But anyways, I'm pretty proud of myself. I raised a good family. I got a great daughter. And it's funny, I used to watch her as a baby. Now she's taking care of me. How things turn around?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, very much so.
Nothing else you want to know?
I think you've answered all my questions. I'll turn this off.